top 10 countries with the highest inflation rate in period from 1960 to 2020. Inflation rate is defined as the annual percent change in consumer prices compared with the previous year's consumer prices. The list is based on the CIA World Factbook data unless otherwise indicated, and is updated according to the statistical updates by respective cities. Hyperinflation in Peru. In modern history, Peru underwent a period of hyperinflation period in the 1980s to the early 1990s, starting with President Fernando Belande's second administration, heightened during Alan Garcia's first administration, to the beginning of Alberto Fujimori's term. Over 3,210,000,000 old souls would be worth $1. Garcia's term introduced the INTI, which worsened inflation into hyperinflation. Peru's currency and economy were pacified under Fujimori's Nuevo Sol program, which has remained Peru's currency since 1991. Poland. Poland has gone through 2 episodes of hyperinflation since the country regained independence following the end of World War I, the first in 1923, the second in 1989 to 1990. Both events resulted in the introduction of new currencies. The economic crisis in Poland in the 1980s was accompanied by rising inflation when new money was printed to cover a budget deficit. Although inflation was not as acute as in 1920s, it is estimated that its annual rate reached around 600% in a period of over a year spanning parts of 1989 and 1990. The economy was stabilized by the adoption of the Balcerowicz Plan in 1989. Yugoslavia. Yugoslavia went through a period of hyperinflation and subsequent currency reforms from 1989 to 1994. One of several regional conflicts accompanying the dissolution of Yugoslavia was the Bosnian War, 1992 to 1995. The Belgrade government of Slobodan Milosevic backed ethnic Serbian forces in the conflict, resulting in a United Nations boycott of Yugoslavia. The UN boycott collapsed an economy already weakened by regional war, with the projected monthly inflation rate accelerating to 1,000,000% by December 1993, prices double every 2.3 days. Hyperinflation in Brazil occurred between the first 3 months of 1990. The monthly inflation rates between January and March 1990 were 71.9%, 71.7%, and 81.3% respectively. As accepted by the International Monetary Fund, IMF, hyperinflation is defined as a period of time in which the average price level of goods and services rise by more than 50% a month. Brazil experienced over a decade of very high inflation, often double-digit monthly inflation, preceding the hyperinflationary period. The nation sustained hyperinflation for less than half a year. This economic event was the culmination of a number of structural aspects of the Brazilian economy, including, but not exclusive to, limited foreign trade and high external public debt, as well as unsuccessful preventative measures. The Brazilian government responded to hyperinflation by using multiple periods of price freezes to artificially stop inflation. This was effective in managing hyperinflation for a few months. In July 1990, price controls were lifted and hyperinflation returned. Zimbabwe. Hyperinflation in Zimbabwe was one of the few instances that resulted in the abandonment of the local currency. Hyperinflation began early in the 21st century, reaching 624% in 2004. It fell back to low triple digits before surging to a new high of 1,730% in 2006. The Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe revalued on the 1st of August, 2006 at a ratio of 1,000 ZWD to each second dollar, ZWN, but year-to-year inflation rose by June 2007 to 11,000%, versus an earlier estimate of 9,000%. Inflation by the 16th of July officially surged to 2,200,000%, with some analysts estimating figures surpassing 9 million%. As of the 22nd of July 2008, the value of the ZWN fell to approximately 688 billion per $1, or 688 trillion pre-August 2006 Zimbabwean dollars. Turkey. Since the end of 2017, Turkey has high inflation rates. It is speculated that the new elections took place frustrated because of the impending crisis to forestall. In October 2017, inflation was at 11.9%, the highest rate since July 2008. Hyperinflation in Venezuela. Venezuela's hyperinflation began in November 2016. Inflation of Venezuela's Bolívar Fuerte, VF, in 2014 reached 69%, and was the highest in the world. In 2015, inflation was 181%, the highest in the world and the highest in the country's history at that time, 800% in 2016, over 4,000% in 2017, and 1,698,488% in 2018, with Venezuela spiraling into hyperinflation. While the Venezuelan government has essentially stopped producing official inflation estimates as of early 2018, one estimate of the rate at that time was 5,220%, according to inflation economist Steve Hanker of Johns Hopkins University. Inflation has affected Venezuelans so much that in 2017, some people became video game gold farmers and could be seen playing games such as RuneScape to sell in-game currency or characters for real currency. In many cases, these gamers made more money than salaried workers in Venezuela, even though they were earning just a few dollars per day. During the Christmas season of 2017, some shops would no longer use price tags since prices would inflate so quickly, so customers were required to ask staff at stores how much each item was. The International Monetary Fund estimated in 2018 that Venezuela's inflation rate would reach 1 million% by the end of the year. This forecast was criticized by Steve H. Hanker, professor of applied economics at the Johns Hopkins University, and senior fellow at the Cato Institute. According to Hanker, the IMF had released a bogus forecast because no one has ever been able to accurately forecast the course or the duration of an episode of hyperinflation. But that has not stopped the IMF from offering inflation forecasts for Venezuela that have proven to be wildly inaccurate. In July 2018, hyperinflation in Venezuela was sitting at 33,151%, the 23rd most severe episode of hyperinflation in history. In April 2019, the International Monetary Fund estimated that inflation would reach 10 million% by the end of 2019. In May 2019, the Central Bank of Venezuela released economic data for the first time since 2015. According to this release, the inflation of Venezuela was 274% in 2016, 863% in 2017 and 130,060% in 2018. The annualized inflation rate, as of April 2019, was estimated to be 282,972.8% as of April 2019, and cumulative inflation from 2016 to April 2019 was estimated at 53,798,500%. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. Stay safe and see you next time.